Hi everybody, this is a video solution of problem number 4 from our review we were doing on Thursday, and this one is an implicit differentiation. So what that means is we're going to be taking the derivative with respect to x, and on this particular one, if you recall, we are going to have a power rule right there. So let's go ahead and separate that first. If you notice, the 2x is the left and the y squared is the right. So we're going to identify our left as 2x and our derivative as 2. And remember, that would have the dx dx. And our right is y squared. And the derivative of that is 2y dy dx. So if you recall here, that dx over dx would go to 1. So now we're going to take the derivative of everything for this particular equation. And first we would have 4x dx dx, and that's from there. And then we would have our product rule, which I like to use brackets. So it's the left times the derivative of the right, and the right times the derivative of the left. And then we have the derivative of that 5y squared, which would be 10y. And we would have that with respect to x. And the derivative of that 3 is a constant, so it would be 0. Now, I'm going to do a couple of things in one swoop, because this is Algebra 1. Remember, the dx dx goes to 1, so we're going to have that. And then, since we have, we're isolating the dy dx terms on the left. So we would be subtracting that 4x, and we would be subtracting, and I'm going to just write it like this, 2y squared to the left. So we would be left with I'm going to combine this into simplified terms. So we'd have 4xy dy dx, and that comes from there. And we're still going to have that 10y dy dx. And when we move those to the other side, the negative 4x and the minus 2y squared, that would be that particular step. So the next thing we want to do is isolate that dy dx, which is basically a greatest common factor here. So we're going to have, if we factor out the dy dx, we're going to be left with 4xy plus the 10y. And then it's going to be equal to those two terms on the right. So now that we have this expression multiplied by the dy dx, that's when we want to divide those. And of course, with algebra and that kind of thing of isolating an unknown, we're going to balance that out and divide both sides. We are then left with dy dx is equal to negative 4x minus 2y squared all over 4xy plus 10y. Now, there's two ways of doing this next simplifying. You can look at every single term and see what they have in common. One of the ways that really is kind of more mathematically communicating, between the 4 and the 2, we would have a 2. So we would have negative 2x minus y squared, and we have a 2 in the denominator. So we would have 2xy plus 5y. And then if you notice, those 2's go to 1, and we are left with the negative 2x minus y squared over the 2xy plus 5y. So that's problem number 4. See you next time.